Shanti. SpARC audiobook Avyakt stage. Part 2. Avyakt Murli date 24/7/1969. Now all of you children must sit considering yourself to be souls. Whom do you see in front of you? The Father of the souls. By remaining in this stage, you will be able to become detached from the corporeal and stabilize yourself in the Avyakt. Can you not remember? I am the soul. I am the point. Do you not know how to sit as a point? If you continue to increase your practice in this way, you will be able to stabilize yourself in that stage, not for just a second, but for many hours, and you can then experience the sweetness of that stage. There will be no need to speak anything when you are stable in that stage. To sit as a point is not a non-living stage. Just as a whole tree is merged in the seed, in the same way Baba's remembrance is merged in me, the soul. When you sit in that stage, you will experience all sweetness, and together with that, you will have the intoxication of the one in front of whom you are sitting. Baba is also taking you back there with him. Baba does not leave you children alone. Baba's home is also the home of you children, and he will take you there with him. All of you have to go together. Considering yourself to be a soul, you also have to come into a body and perform actions. However, whilst performing actions, you have to be loving and detached. Baba is observing you children. Even whilst observing you, Baba is loving and detached. Is he not? Acha. Avyakt Murli date 3/10/1969. If you have surrendered your mind, you cannot use it without Srimad. It is easy to use your wealth according to Srimad. It is also easy to use the body. But the stage where the mind does not create even one thought without Srimad is what is called the perfect stage. This is why Manmanabhav is the main mantra. If the mind is totally surrendered, then you will instantly be able to direct your body, mind, wealth, relationships, and time towards that one. So the main thing is to surrender the mind, that is, to surrender the wasteful and vicious thoughts. This is the sign of a complete moth. Those who are totally surrendered will think about nothing except Bapdada's virtues, tasks, and relationships with their mind. So now, have you applied such a stamp? When you people work in the office nowadays, you sometimes use the things that belong to the office for yourself. However, whatever you have surrendered is no longer your own. It belongs to the one you have given it to. And so you cannot use his things for yourself. But because you have that sanskar, you sometimes mix Srimad with the dictates of your own mind, the dictates of your body consciousness and the dictates of a Shudra. This is why you are not constantly able to maintain the Karmatit stage or the Avyakta stage. The mind is tasting the different tastes, and so its stage is also different all the time. If it is one constantly tasting the same thing, it will constantly remain in one stage. Avyakt Murli date 16/10/1969. How can you develop the power of discrimination? What is the main method for that? What is the main method to make the power of discrimination powerful? What should be the method to discriminate? Are you able to discriminate anyone who comes in front of you? Each one gives our own idea. The essence of what all of you said is the same. The Avyakt stage, remembrance, or the stage of soul consciousness is the same thing. However, together with the stage of soul consciousness, only those who do not have a lot of waste thoughts are able to discriminate others accurately. Those whose intellect is engaged in the remembrance of one, in the task of one, and who are in a constant stage will be able to discriminate others very quickly. Those whose intellect creates a lot of thoughts will have a mixture of their own waste thoughts in recognizing others. Therefore, they will not be able to recognize others as they are. Those who have cleanliness of the intellect will be able to maintain a Yogyukta stage. Waste thoughts and sinful thoughts become an obstacle in creating an Avyakta stage. The main reason why you are attracted to the body again and again is that there isn't cleanliness of the intellect. Cleanliness of the intellect means that it remains lost in the great mantra that it has received. Because of not having the remembrance of one and letting the intellect wander in many directions, it does not remain powerful. Generally, you must have experienced that when the intellect is engaged in many tasks, there is the feeling of the intellect being weak and tired, and so you are not able to make an accurate decision about anything. In the same way, waste thoughts and sinful thoughts make the intellect tired. Any soul who is tired will not be able to discriminate or make a decision accurately. No matter how clever someone may be, there is a great difference in his discrimination and decision making when he is tired, because the intellect is tired by these thoughts throughout the day. It lacks the power to make decisions. Therefore, you are not able to become victorious. The main reason for experiencing defeat is that there isn't the cleanliness of the intellect. Just as those people have the cleanliness of their palms, so you can also do so much with the cleanliness of the intellect. Those people are able to transform anything very quickly with the cleanliness of their palms. They do not take a long time. This is why they are called magicians. You will also have the power to transform. Now you have learned to transform, but you are not able to change it like magic. That is, you are not able to transform very quickly. It takes you time. In order to use your magic, you remember the mantra. That magic is successful for as long as they remember that mantra. If you also remember your great mantra, you will be able to work like magic. It is still taking time. So what will you emerge as from this bhakti? Magicians. If so many magicians were to spread the every corner of Bharat, what would it become? A different scene would be visible within a month. Now you will have to make preparations. What will you have to do if so many magicians begin the task of transforming? You as well as Bap Dada wish to witness such a scene of newness. The sound of newness should spread of who has emerged from where. They should feel that at every place an Avyakt soul has incarnated. Since one incarnation is able to do so much, all of you are so many incarnations. When you return from here, think that you have incarnated in that body of godly service. If you go with this awareness, then uniqueness will be visible in your every activity. all those of your divine family and Lokic family will experience that you have become different and totally transformed. When they experience your transformation, you will be able to transform the world. If there isn't the experience of transformation from all of you, you will not be able to transform the world. You have to change yourself in order to change the world. You must always move along whilst considering yourself to be an instrument who has incarnated into that body which is on loan for a godly tasks. For just a few days, when you have completed your task, you will go back. Create this stage with this awareness and this aim and continue to move along with that. This is a garden. Bap Dada comes into the living garden and he takes a little fragrance through your words, a little through your eyes, and a little through the jewel in your forehead. Bap Dada sees the sparkle of the jewel on the forehead of each of you. In the same way, if all of you continue to see the jewel on the forehead of each one, then your drishti and attitude will become pure and satopradhan. The main reason why your drishti becomes mischievous is that you do not see the jewel on the forehead, but you see the physical form instead. Do not see the physical form, but see the jewel on the forehead. When you see the physical form, just think that you are looking at a snake. The snake has a jewel at the center of its forehead. So you have to see the jewel and not the snake. If you look at anything with body consciousness, then understand that you are looking at a snake. If you look at the snake, it will bite you. A snake would carry out its task. A snake is poisonous. There are some special snakes that have jewels. How must you brothers kill the snakes? What will you do? Whilst looking at a snake, do not see the snake, just see the jewel. The poison of the snake will not be so poisonous if you look at the jewel. If you see the snake, which is the body, you will belong to the snake. You will become like that, but if you see the jewel, you will become a jewel in Bap Dada's rosary. You either become like a snake or you become a jewel of the rosary. If you want to become a jewel, you must see the jewel. Then your complaint will be transformed and you will become complete. You just need to use the discrimination of the intellect to see the difference between a complaint and being complete. There is difference of night and day. If you write it in Sindhi language, there is difference of just 2 dots. Here also it is the same. The 2 dots are one of the self and one of Bap Dada. If you remember these 2 dots, instead of complaining, you will become complete. This is why you should promise this to yourself from today. You have made many promises to Bap Dada, but today make a promise to yourself. From now on, I will not look at anything except the jewel, and that I myself will become a jewel of the rosary and sparkle amidst the whole world. Only when you yourself become a jewel will you sparkle. If you do not become a jewel, you will not be able to sparkle. There will only be revelation when you make a promise, you are not able to fulfill that promise to yourself completely. This is why revelation does not take place fully. The reason why there isn't so much revelation is that you lack fulfilling the promise you have made to yourself. You make a promise instantly and then you forget it instantly. However, now together with making a promise, make it firm that you will also bring about the revelation. Then your promise will definitely bring about revelation. The Pandav army are enlightened souls and the Shakti army are loving souls. Those who are loving are yogi. At present, zeal and enthusiasm are sparkling on the forehead of each Pandav. This zeal and enthusiasm should always remain constant. You have to give the fruit of the effort that you have taken from others. If you do not settle for the effort that you have received here, you will have to give the return of that effort in Satyug. This is why you have to settle for the effort you have now received. Bap Dada takes a body on loan. Now both of them take it on loan. They come for just a little time. Why? In order to meet you. All of you must think that you have taken your body on loan for the sake of service for just a short time. When you have created such a stage, Bap Dada influence will be visible to the world. Remember two main things. Firstly, you must look at the jewel, do not see the snake which is the body. And secondly, consider yourself to be an incarnation. Perform all your tasks whilst incarnating in this body. And remember one slogan, whatever Bap Dada says and whatever he makes us to do. However he makes us move, we will do it just like that. We will move along, speak and see only that. This is the main slogan of the Pandav army. We will think only about what Bap Dada says. We must not think about anything else. We must not see anything else with these eyes. We have also given the eyes. You are the complete moths, are you not? Do moths see anything except the light? What else do your eyes see? When you see anything else, they deceive you. Do not deceive yourself for this. Moths should not look at anyone except the light. This is the stamp of a complete moth. The result is good, but you must maintain that eternally. You should be able to create whatever stage you want, whenever you want. You have to make the mind practice this drill. Avyakt Murli date 25/12/1969. Baba was on a tour of the spiritual world. All of you have to perform every action whilst in the stage of a spiritual spirit. Only then will there be that sparkle in service and in your actions. You now wish to bring about newness, do you not? Or are you content to move along as you have been doing? There will be a new sparkle when there is spirituality in your every action, every thought, and in your speech. How can you bring about spirituality? What do you have to do? Maintain spirituality constantly. What do you have to change? Everyone gave a different answer. There are the main things which are firm with everyone. But what is the reason for there not being spirituality? The question is, why are you not able to remain faithful and obedient? A lack of relationship. Why is there a lack of relationship? All of you have applied on yourself the tilak of an intellect that has faith. The question is, Why isn't there spirituality constantly? The reason for there not being spirituality constantly is that there is a weakness whilst moving along in considering yourself and others for whom you are instrumental in service to be Bap Dada's property. The more you consider yourself and others to be Bap Dada's property, the more there will be spirituality. There is some weakness when you do not consider yourself to be Bap Dada's property. You should create thoughts in your mind whilst considering the mind to be given to you in trust. You must not misuse that trust. In other words, you explain to others whilst considering them to be trustees, do you not? You call them trustees, but you must consider your mind and body and whatever else you have received for use as an instrument, whether it is a student, the center, or any physical object to be something that is given to you in trust. When you consider it to be given to you in trust, you will remain unattracted by it. Your intellect will not be drawn to it. It is only when you remain unattracted that there will be spirituality. You have to surrender yourself to the flame to this extent. You have surrendered yourselves, but to what extent? They are my sanskars. The words my sanskars should be erased. Where did my sanskars come from? You have to surrender yourself to such an extent that even your nature changes. When the nature of all of you changes, your images will become angelic. What are the images of the perfect stage of the confluence age? What is the speciality of angels? One is that there is total lightness. Because of that lightness, they are able to adapt their stage according to the circumstances. Those who are heavy cannot adapt themselves to any circumstance. So the main speciality of angels is that they will remain light in all aspects. They remain light in thoughts, light in their speech, light in their actions, and light in their relationships. If there is lightness in these four aspects, then there is the stage of an angel. So now check, to what extent is there lightness in these four aspects? Those who are light will be able to recognize the sanskars of any soul within a second, and they will also be able to make a decision within a second about whatever circumstance comes in front of them. This is the sign of being an angel. When all these virtues are practically visible in your actions, then understand that your perfect stage is close. In what aspects were you able to see the perfect stage of the Sakar form? Different ideas were given. Acha. Avyakt Murli date 18/1/1970. What did you remember throughout the day today? Did you remember the physical form or the divine activity? Did you remember anything else with the physical form? Someone said, we remembered Baba's teachings and the drama. Did you remember the one without an image together with the physical form? For how long were you in remembrance of the one with the physical form? And for how long were you in remembrance of the one without image? Or was the remembrance of both merged? By remembering the one with the physical form together with the one without an image, you yourself will develop a good character. If you simply remember the one with the physical form and his activities, You will only remember the activities. Therefore, together with the one without an image, also remember the one with the physical form and his activities. Today, did you do anything special? Were you simply lost in remembrance, or together with remembrance, did you also do something else? Since being absolved is the result of remembrance, what other special task did you perform? Look at your chart for the whole year. Did you check the result of this Avyakt study, Avyakt love and cooperation? What is the 12-month paper of this Avyakt love and cooperation? Did you check that? It is only after checking that you are able to pay extra attention to yourself. So today you have to check your own paper. How far have you moved away from corporeal feelings to subtle feelings? You have to check this. If you have moved forward in your Avyakt stage, your activity will be spiritual. What is the practical sign of an Avyakt stage? Spiritual activity. To what extent have you become spiritual while living in this world? You have to check this. What was the first exam you took this year? How many marks did each of you claim in this test of faith? You yourselves know that you have taken the examination of faith. What exam do you have to take now? You fail even while knowing about the exam in advance. For some, this is a very difficult paper, whereas for others, a difficult paper is yet to come. Just as you took the paper of faith in this exam, the same way, what paper are you going to take now? Just as previously you had the support of the instrument in the corporeal form, even now there are those who are the instruments in the drama to support you in the corporeal form. He was the instrument before and is still the instrument now. They are the elevated support for the whole family in the corporeal form. Baba is with you in an Avyakt form. The greater the love there is, the greater the cooperation you receive. Because of a lack of love, you receive less cooperation. To have love for the corporeal form means to have love for the whole genealogical tree. The corporeal form is not alone. Together with Prajapita Brahma, there is also the whole family. You are the beads of a rosary, are you not? There isn't just one bead in a rosary. In the one thread of remembrance, the whole family is merged with love. Avyakt Murli date 22/1/1970. Where are all of you sitting and what are you seeing? Are you seeing the Avyakt form whilst stabilized in the Avyakt form? Or are you trying to see the corporeal form in the Avyakt form in this world? There is sound, whereas in the subtle region there is no sound. And this is why Baba is teaching all the children the drill to take them beyond sound. The practice of coming into sound in a second and going beyond sound in a second is absolutely essential at the present time. The time will come when, as you continue to stabilize yourself in the Avyakt stage, you will be able to continue to stabilize and know the feelings within someone's mind through the signals of the eyes. It will not be necessary to speak to or just hear about it from anyone. Such a time is now going to come. Just as when you come in front of Bap Dada, he knows the thoughts and feelings within the minds of all of you without you are having to tell Baba about it. In the same way, you children have to study this final course. Just as you speak the language of the mouth, in the same way, there is the conversation of the spirit, which is called a heart-to-heart conversation. So a spirit talks to a spirit, but how? Do spirits converse through the mouth? As you continue to stabilize yourself in the spiritual stage, the spirit will be able to know another spirit easily, clearly. Just as in this world, you know the feelings of one another by speaking about them. So, which aspect of dharana is needed for this? There is a special need to keep the line of the intellect constantly clear. If there is any disturbance in your intellect or mind, or if the line is not clear, you will not be able to understand one another's thoughts and feelings. Because of the line not being clear, there is a mixture of your own thoughts. Therefore, each of you should check whether the line of your intellect is clear. Is there any type of obstacle in your intellect that is causing distress? Do you have the three aspects of being stable, immovable, and tireless in your life? If one of these three aspects is lacking, you should understand that the line of intellect is not clear. When the line of your intellect becomes clear, what will your stage and consciousness be? The more the line of the intellect is clear, that is, the line of effort is clear, what will remain in your consciousness? The future of any aspect would be just as clear as the present. For that person, the present and the future would be the same. Nowadays, through science, some things are shown so clearly that you can see things that are very far away as close. In the same way, those whose effort is clear will see things of the future as very close, although they are very far away. Nowadays, when people watch television, they are able to see everything very clearly. So, their intellect and vision can see and recognize all the images on the television very clearly. There are no difficulties of having to make effort in any aspect. In the same way, experience and recognize the final stage in yourself and see how close you are to the final stage. When the sun has fully risen, you are able to see everything very clearly. All the darkness and the haziness finishes. In the same way, when you have an unbreakable relationship with the Almighty Authority, the Sun of Knowledge, you can see everything within yourself very clearly. Then whilst you are walking alone, if Maya's darkness or haziness that hides the truth comes to you in your efforts, that will be removed. Om Shanti.